Hello, YouTubers. Good morning. How are you? How are you girls?
I'm good. How about you?
Great.
Well, I've never been good. I've been nice sometimes, but not always good.
Been a pretty good weekend, except for the rain.
Well, we needed it.
Yes, we did.
So, anyway, but maybe to put out some of the forest fires over in California.
Absolutely. Yes.
No, I'm just kidding. YouTubers, if you're listening, we've got a big show coming up for you today. Politics to the left, politics to the right,
Oh
and
gosh.
then more politics in the middle. And since I've got two Republicans in the room with me, I'm not. Then
You're close enough.
I'm going to make them explain to me what in the name of heaven is going on within the party here in Onslow County. Because it's a letter that I read
That
that
was horrible.
purportedly went out to
It's
all
ridiculous.
Republican elected officials.
Right.
And one of them sent me a copy of it.
Good.
I'm like, really?
Yeah,
What do you this? I mean,
I'm embarrassed.
I've been to a lot of suicides in my life. This is the worst political suicide I think I've ever seen
Yeah.
for an entire group.
Yeah, there's a group that has set their, they've done nothing but destroy,
No
destroy,
wonder my
divide.
people outnumber you.
Yeah, that's true.
The
I have to look at the
independents.
latest ranks.
Well, it's probably going to be worse than that.
Oh,
Worse than before now.
I think I'm about to be one.
Yeah, I
So,
may be right there with. Let's go together.
Yeah, I'm seriously contemplating changing my affiliation.
whatever.
It's sad.
It is a very
No,
sad
it's
state of
it's
affairs.
anger. It's anger inducing,
Mhm.
Yes, it is.
and it's childish.
But it's sad looking at it from my
Mm-hmm.
perspective because I ain't one.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
I
like,
imagine you, like everybody else, is sitting back just laughing.
I'm
It's
not even
embarrassing.
laughing. It's embarrassing
It's
to the
very
Republican Party. It would be
embarrassing.
embarrassing
It is
to the Democrats.
embarrassing.
If the Democrats are doing it, it'd be embarrassing to watch them do it too.
Look, Democrats are just sitting back watching
They're the ones
Republicans
laughing.
implode.
Well, they're
That's
gonna
right.
they're gonna reap the benefits of
Absolutely.
this. Bottom line.
So anyway, all right, we're about a minute and a half away. Fox News break is coming up very shortly, and then after that, it'll be live and local real talk here on Freedom 97.1 and 1120 a.m. WSME. Hang in there for that. We'll be joining you shortly. And good Monday morning to you. I'm Rayford Brown.
I'm Kelly Knapp. I forgot what I was doing.
And I'm Lee Barrels.
It's Monday.
There's your cue. Do
Yeah.
I have to reach over there and say, hey?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I'll do that for
I'm
now.
over here.
I'll get my stick out. What do you
Yeah.
think?
I'm trying to
I'll
make my computer's
anointing
not
you.
acting right. So,
Well,
yeah.
computers never act
I
right.
know.
How was your weekend, ladies?
It was good, busy.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've got a bunch of news happening around the country, around the world. More so in this country now than elsewhere, other than Great Britain, of course. They got their week-long plus dealings with the death of Queen Elizabeth. Tragic situation. Everybody knew it was coming. You know, it's been there. 96-year-old ruler for more than 70 years.
Yes.
Talk about term limits. Don't exist there, do they?
Well, I don't know. I have watched this religiously. I have just really been invested in it, the history, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm almost thinking maybe our country needs just to have a king.
I got a better
Forget
idea.
all this politics.
I got a better
They're
idea.
trying to have that already. What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
I got a much better idea. Biden has been invited and he's going to the funeral.
Yes.
So I'm suggesting that he stay there and he take care of England and let King
Charles
Charles
here.
come over here and rule for a while.
I'll tell you, I was really moved by his speeches. Have really moved
Mhm,
me,
yeah.
Especially
He's a
the one.
brilliant man.
Yes, especially the one he wrote for his mother.
Uh-huh.
Announcing her death. That really, to me, it changed a lot of how I felt about him.
Yeah. The late Queen Elizabeth, as Kelly noted last week, she loved her corgis.
Yes.
They're going to remain in the royal family.
Yes,
Oh, I
Prince
had read that.
Andrew.
Prince
and
Andrew and Sarah Ferguson.
That's right.
And
They're taking
his
them.
ex-wife?
Yes.
That's kind of weird.
They've
isn't it?
remained very friendly. I have
Apparently.
read that. Yes, they have been friendly for years. Yeah,
well,
believe it or not. Maybe sometimes you get along better when you're not married to somebody. So
Prince
maybe that's what
William,
happened.
Yeah.
Prince William and Prince Harry, feuding brothers for the last few years,
Mhm,
along with their wives,
mhm,
were together greeting the thousands of Brits who loved their grandmother.
Mhm.
So anyway, whatever. Yesterday marked the 21st anniversary of another day that will live in infamy forever.
Yes, yes.
11 September, 21 years ago, America and its way of life and liberty were shattered by the attack on the World Trade Center towers in New York City, the attack on the Pentagon in Washington, D.C., and a planned but failed attack on the White House.
Mhm.
4 airliners taken over by Middle Eastern terrorists, and 3 of the planes found their targets. The 4th plane, after hijackers killed the crew, was retaken by passengers, and the plane crashed into a field in Pennsylvania.
Mhm.
Thousands of Americans perished in the planes, the 2 towers, and the Pentagon. All of the hijackers died. All planes except military were grounded that day, remained that way for several days. One DC Air National Guard pilot remembers being scrambled and received orders from then Vice President Dick Cheney.
Mhm.
Fighter pilot Heather Penny, a rookie, she said she only had training weapons on board, no live ordnance. She recalled Cheney's ordnance: locate and ram Flight 93. She had some trepidations. Her dad was a pilot
Oh wow.
for United Air.
Oh my goodness.
She didn't know what plane he was flying, if
Oh,
any, that
geez.
day.
Can you imagine?
She said there was no hesitation on her part, though. She was willing to step up to stop another attack. As we talked about, the plane was taken over by hijackers, but the passengers revolted.
Mhm.
They had picked up from telephone calls and everything else information about the attacks, and they said it ain't happening again.
Mhm.
Let's roll.
Mhm.
Oh, my. Are our military prosecutors getting soft?
I don't know. Why do you ask?
U.S. military prosecutors are reportedly negotiating potential plea deals with 9/11 mastermind Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and 4
no.
other
Oh, no.
conspirators imprisoned in Guantanamo Bay. The plea deals may allow the 5 defendants to escape a potential death penalty. Mohammed is widely credited with being the architect, they call it, the mastermind of the 9/11 terror attacks. Attorneys for those guys say they would be willing to enter a guilty plea in exchange for taking the death penalty off the table, as well as for getting treatment for what they claim was torture they experienced while in CIA custody. before being transferred to Gitmo.
Now let me say something. I want to interrupt you real quick. Okay.
I got things to say too. Go
I've
ahead.
got one thing to say: Rikers Island.
Timothy
Oh, no.
McVeigh was put to death
Yep.
after his crap at the Oklahoma City bombing.
He agreed to do it
Yeah.
though. He wanted to do it.
Forget agreeing.
Mhm.
Why are these fools not already dead?
Right.
21 years later.
Right.
That should have happened immediately once they became into custody.
Right.
Bottom line, not housing them, not doing anything. We don't need to torture them. Kill them and be done with it.
What is torture? What was the torture?
I don't know. How
They
were they?
waterboarded
Probably
them a little
waterboard
bit.
them.
I'm sorry, folks.
Well, that sounds rough. I wouldn't want to be
That's
waterboarded, but
that's called encouragement to talk.
yeah.
Enhanced interrogation techniques.
Well, clearly they had enough evidence that he was a mastermind. So what
Uh-huh.
else do you need to know?
The CIA held each of these guys for interrogation prior to their arrival in Gitmo. Critics argue the CIA's methods amounted to illegal torture. Muhammad and his co-defendants are charged with crimes including terrorism,
Mhm.
hijacking, 2,976 counts of murder for their roles planning and providing logistical support to the attack on September 11th.
So I'm saying, like, why has this not already been addressed?
The trial for the 5 men has been bogged down in legal challenges for all these years since 2006. Prosecutors attempted to advance via pretrial hearings in late 2021, but there remains no end in sight. Each of the defendants has been assigned a military lawyer, a civilian lawyer, and a human rights lawyer.
Human rights.
The case has come before 7 different judges.
Wow.
Ask me, would I accept the plea in exchange for life in prison? Ask me.
Would you?
Yes. As long as that life sentence would last no more than 1 day.
Oh my goodness.
Half a day, Rafer. What are you doing?
No more than 1 day.
Breakfast and it's done.
1 minute. This is appalling. And oh my God.
Chaos reigned in the home where Florida school shooter Nicholas Cruz grew up, according to testimony in his ongoing penalty trial. He and his half-brother Zachary tormented their adoptive widowed mother, Linda. By the time Cruz reached middle school in the early 2010s, the pair took their fists and baseball bats to the walls, gaping holes all over everywhere. They destroyed televisions and carved gashes in furniture. Zachary may have been 2 years younger, but he was bigger and stronger, relentlessly picked on his brother. One social worker said Zachary climbed on top of a counter and stepped in Nicholas' cereal as he ate it.
But why were they not hospitalized and evaluated?
We'll get there. Linda Cruz called sheriff's deputies to the family's 4,500 square foot home at least 24 times between 2012 and 2016 to deal with one son, the other, or both. Most calls were for fighting, destroying her property, disrespecting her, or running away. Cruz pleaded guilty in October to murdering 17 students and staff members at Parkland's Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in February 14th, 2018. His trial is only to decide whether he is sentenced to death or life without parole. That trial resumes today. It's been put off for a week. By preschool, Cruz showed extreme behavior.
Mhm.
In preschool, neighbors and teachers testified he hit and bit other children and did not socialize.
Well, he should have been.
He was
evaluated
anxious,
then.
fell when he ran, and couldn't use utensils. He started seeing psychiatrists and psychologists at age 3 and did not fully talk or become potty trained until he was 4.
I think he had severe. That sounds like a severe abuse prior.
At 5, he was adopted.
Yeah.
At 5, just as Cruz entered kindergarten, he witnessed his father suffer a fatal heart attack in the family's den.
Well, that added to his trauma.
That left Linda Cruz alone in her mid-50s, a little old to have an adopted kid at that age, with 2 sons who would have challenged a much younger couple. Unemployed, she became paranoid about spending, keeping her air conditioner's thermostats in the 80s.
Oh, my word.
And unplugging unused appliances. This is in Fort Lauderdale. One friend said her monthly electric bill was only $80.
That sounds like she added to their trauma. and issues.
She padlocked the refrigerator
Oh,
so
there
her
you go.
sons could
Yeah.
not eat without permission and kept it so poorly stocked neighbors gave her groceries.
There you go. I knew it.
Cruz's mental health treatments were not fully covered by insurance. He loved online, often watching violent video games, but hated losing. That's what caused him to destroy TVs and damage the walls.
Wow.
She locked his video game console in her car as punishment. Cruz at least once broke a window to get it back.
The problem is, it sounds like she contributed through her actions to that boy's issues that clearly were not being fully addressed anyway.
Weren't being fully addressed, but
She
this started when he
contributed.
was 3 years old.
Yeah, I guarantee you he was abused from infancy on. And
Likely.
then,
That's why he
yeah,
didn't have
Yeah.
his mama have
Yeah.
possession of it.
yeah. But then didn't receive the proper treatment that he needed to address it. And the death of the adoptive father, which is traumatic for anybody to witness, plus her nonsense actions, all that did was further fuel the trauma.
Doesn't say anything
Wow.
about what kind of help she got or did not get.
Clearly not enough, because someone should have intervened.
Someone should have
She
intervened.
sounded like she had some mental issues as well.
Well, I'm sure she did.
So
She's suddenly stuck with
Yeah.
two kids that are
those kids
little,
didn't have a chance.
Yeah, no, they did.
and they were from different families. They weren't from the
Doesn't
same
matter.
family.
Yeah.
So they were,
They
you
did
know.
not have a chance. Oh, gee.
A man accused of going on a killing spree as part of a jihad against Americans was sentenced on Friday to nearly a century behind bars in connection to 3 murders in Washington state in 2014. Ali Muhammad Brown, no kin to me, 37, had already been serving life in prison without the possibility of parole for a fourth murder later that same year in New Jersey. Sentencing for 3 counts of premeditated murder in Washington state did not come until Friday in King County Superior Court. The judge sentenced Brown to another 1,118 months. He's to serve that 93-year sentence consecutively, which will ensure he dies in prison. An accused ISIS sympathizer, he fatally shot 30-year-old Leroy Henderson along a stretch of a road south of Seattle in April of 14 as a test, he said, to see if he could kill for the cause of avenging U.S. policy in the Middle East.
Oh, my word.
5 weeks later, Brown killed another 2 men, 27-year-old Ahmed Saeed and 23-year-old Dewan Anderson Young, after targeting them because they were gay. He met them on the gay dating site Grindr, spent time with the 2 best friends at a since-closed gay club in Seattle before killing them later that night. Brown then fled to New Jersey, where he also murdered 19-year-old Brendan Tevlon later that June. Tevlon was a student at the University of Richmond in Virginia, but he was back home for the summer in New Jersey when he was killed. During a 2018 court hearing, Brown admitted to the 3 other Washington killings. What no one is no longer discussing: how many more jihadists or jihadist sympathizers are living in this country, and how many are entering illegally across our southern border every day? When will they all come together, undergo training, and then attack us from their hiding places scattered from coast to coast, border to border? While so many federal agents are busy chasing coyotes and illegal border jumpers, billions of dollars of illegal drugs slip across the border in big trucks every day. Only a small percentage get caught. With a lot of luck, U.S. Customs and Border Protection agents seized nearly $12 million worth of meth at the Del Rio Port of Entry in Del Rio, Texas. That bust took place last week, the largest seizure of meth in the Border Port's history. Agents discovered 320 packages with 1,337 pounds of meth inside a tractor trailer on the 5th. The drugs carry an estimated value of $11.9 million.
Oh, my word. I just can't.
If the diversionary tactics of the Mexican cartel were not so effective, made so easy by the Biden administration, a lot more of these deadly drugs would never make it into this country.
Nope, they would not. How?
Unreal. All right.
2 men
Deep breath.
suspected in an attempted home invasion are dead after a teenager inside the house opened fire on them in Texas.
Yes.
The incident, they call it an incident, I call it justifiable, happened around 10:40 a.m. Friday. The Harris County Sheriff's Office says 3 male suspects armed with and wearing masks attempted to force entry into a home in Channelview, Texas. A woman, a 12-year-old boy, and 2 17-year-old boys were inside. One of those 17-year-olds got a shotgun and fired it at the intruders. 2 of them went toes up, dead. The
Yeehaw.
third fled the scene in a car. The Harris County District
Yep,
Attorney's
I heard
Office
about this
recommended the
weekend.
case be
Yep.
presented to a grand jury. What?
Why?
What?
Home
That-
invasion.
That county needs a new district
Yep.
attorney.
Castle doctrine.
Yeah.
Right.
Unless something else is going on that we're not being told, this is an open and shut case. The investigation is continuing.
Mhm.
What? Oh, my.
Really?
Well, you might as well get my bed ready because if you walk into my house,
Oh.
go ahead and get the grand jury convened.
All right, I'm getting fed up until I get to the Republican Party here in a minute.
Oh God.
I'm getting fed up more so than ever.
Oh,
Visa
my.
has joined MasterCard and American Express with its
What?
decision to classify purchases made at gun stores as general merchandise until now. The 3 major credit card companies claim they can better track large quantities of gun shop sales and, I suppose, report it to the federal government. The credit card companies are working on a new special category for gun shops. So I suppose that if I visit my favorite store in Holly Ridge and buy a couple dozen T-shirts, a couple knives, and other non-firearms
right.
related items
Exactly.
to give as Christmas gifts, I might end up on a federal watchdog list.
Well,
And heaven forbid, if I buy another case of 500 or 1,000 bullets or a case of shotgun shells, since dove season has started, and maybe a couple dozen or a couple new handguns, one for myself, one for my wife, and pay for this with my credit card. Knock, knock, who's there? I guess the answer will be we're here from the government and we're here to help.
oh my gosh.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
I'm
When's
gonna
the
go
last
buy
time you
some and see what happens.
When's the last time you went dove hunting?
It's painfully obvious that pressure from the current but hopefully short-lived administration, with support from Democrats in the House and Senate, has again taken control of private enterprise. Where and when will it end? If it's not going to happen with more attempts to steal our guns, you can bet on that. It will not end. It's not going to happen. With 100 million legal gun owners in this country in possession of 300 million guns and trillions of rounds of ammunition, it's been said before, and I'll say it again, if we were the problem, you'd know about it real fast.
Mhm.
Go after the people who steal guns. Don't just drop charges on them. Go after the gangbangers. Go after bad people who illegally sell guns. Don't reduce the charges from 21 counts to 1 count and make it a misdemeanor like they did in Chicago. They are the problem. As far as mass shootings go, do more, a lot more in the mental health arena. Get proactive. And that doesn't mean making it more difficult for those of us who pose no threat to society to enjoy our guns. As far as Visa, MasterCard, and American Express are concerned, I'll likely be learning to live with greenbacks
Just
sooner than
use
later.
your debit card.
It's got Visa written on it.
Yeah, mine does
Yeah,
too.
but is
Oh,
the
it
same?
shows up.
Oh, yeah, but it's
It will.
okay.
It will. It's
I guess
tracked.
you're just gonna have to go get cash out of the bank and pay cash for it,
There you go.
Yeah.
or write a check.
Or
Yeah. I
don't
would
ha-
pay
don't even have a
cash.
checkbook.
Yeah.
Like
or
Listen.
every gun store should drop the name of gun in its name and rename themselves like the Paradise Club.
Yeah,
Incorporated.
yeah.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah, that's true. They won't know. Yeah.
There's ways to get around it.
That's my 2 cents worth.
Of course, if the ATF or some other agency went in and investigate, I'm sure they would have to pull. They'd have to have some records of the sale.
Oh, they'll have tracks of it.
Right.
That's not a problem if they go in to
At least they won't
investigate
be
it.
reporting it.
But they
as you
won't be
buy it.
reporting it
Right.
but every time I buy something with a Visa card. Let's take a break, do some weather. After that, your turn if you want to chat. Then we're going to talk politics.
Oh,
Oh,
gosh.
God, help us.
Ugh.
You're live in local Real Talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSMA, our number, 910-333-0139. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Weather, as we all know, can change in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the reasons that Tideline Marine in Jacksonville wants you to play safe on the water, and that means knowing in advance what the predicted conditions will be. Of course, that can change too, even while you're out boating. When picking a marine band VHF radio, strongly recommend you have one on your boat. I don't care if you're in the intercoastal waterway and you think your cell phone is going to work for you all the time. It ain't going to work for you when it's raining. And if you have a problem with your boat, who are you going to call?
Ghostbusters.
I was
Yeah.
just going to say that.
You'd be better off because you'll be dialing 911 and then you're going to drop the call 14 times
Ghostbusters.
before you can do it, because that's what happens with cell phones.
Mhm.
Sideline suggests you pick one of those VHF radios, like one that I've got on my boat, that has a built-in weather alert system, just like the weather radios that
Yeah.
most
Okay,
of us have at our
Yeah.
homes.
Yeah.
It's got, I don't care what channel you're listening to, if you got that thing turned on and you programmed it to do it, in the event of an emergency, weather change or whatever, it switches over and gives you the weather alert.
Yeah, like warning, thunderstorm.
Uh-huh.
Get out.
It activates, gives you the details of potential weather problems.
Mhm.
Tideline Marine and Family on the banks of the New River at 159 Old Bridge Street in downtown Jacksonville. There is a chance for showers and thunderstorms for the next couple of days, and that could bring choppy seas at times. Today, offshore southwesterly winds 10 to 15, seas 2 to 4. Dominant period 9 seconds, sounds and rivers a moderate chop, but in the event of a thunderstorm, they will chop up a lot. Southwesterly winds on Tuesday about the same, 10 to 15, 3 to 5 footers tomorrow, 2 to 3 near shore, sounds and rivers a moderate chop. Northerly winds on Wednesday around 10, becoming northeasterly later in the day, seas 2 to 4 feet.
Today, mostly cloudy up until 4 o'clock with a high of 87. Then after 4, showers and thunderstorms. Likely tonight, cloudy, otherwise showers and thunderstorms, a low of 73. Tomorrow, partly sunny, high of 86. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, low of 65. And on Wednesday, mostly sunny, high of 85.
Yay.
All right, out there in the tropics, a couple of the things have dissipated that were there, even Friday.
Yep.
We've got a one that's formed up. It's got 20% chance of becoming something in the next 5 days. The other one has got 20% chance of becoming something in the next 5 days. They're both really low down. They're down around the 12th degree, something like that, parallel. And one has just come off the coast, is in the process of coming off the coast of Africa. The others out there about the mid-southern Atlantic, tropical Atlantic. So we'll have to keep our eyes on them. Don't know. They're not looking real good for. It's looking good for us right now, but we'll have to see. They're not saying too much about potential for development. So we don't know what to the west looks like. So we will find out. Keep our eye on it. Okay, now
We've had such a good summer already. so-
yeah, I want you to give me some numbers. And today's the peak of the hurricane season for Eastern North
That's
Carolina,
right.
the 12th,
Mm-hmm.
which was my mom's birthday too, by the way. Would have been her,
Mm-hmm.
98, I think it is.
Well, happy
No,
heavenly birthday.
it would have been 99 this year.
Yeah, happy heavenly birthday.
Okay, now we've got some numbers here. I want you to repeat. How many registered Republicans are in Onslow County as of today?
As of today, all right, I changed my period here. And wait a second, and I give it to you. It was 40, let me see, here we are.
44,000.
Onslow. Okay. What? Oh, 44,707.
That's today.
That's today.
How many were there a month ago?
A month ago, you made me go back. A month ago, it was, we wrote it down, but I don't think we,
Okay, I wrote it right here.
You got it?
Yep.
I got it. I have it too.
44,484.
So you've actually picked up.
No,
No, we lost 223.
it was 44,521.
Oh, you had me right 480. Okay.
Well, that was because I went back to a different period. Okay,
Okay.
this was
1 month
a
ago.
month ago today.
Okay.
A month ago today.
So there were 44,000.
Right.
And
44,521.
All right.
so
Okay.
you've lost Republicans in
We've
the last
been on a
month.
downward trend in the last year, yes.
The Democrats pick up some?
It appears they did. A month ago they were 24,170, and they had been running around the 23,000 mark.
Uh-huh.
So they seem to be picking up also. Let me see what they are currently.
We lost 37.
Yes,
So
that was just in a month's time. Democrats 24,214 a month ago, and it looks like they picked up a little bit since then. So,
Uh-huh. So, and then,
unaffiliates.
yeah, me.
Yes.
How's my team doing?
Your team is in the lead, still in the lead. It started, I would say, it started gaining mid 2021 is when you started gaining the unaffiliates. Right now, you're at. Let me make sure my period's right here. Yes, as of today, you are at 46,460, which was, I think we said, what, 1797 over the
Uh-huh.
Kelly's doing it. Yeah. So right now, the Republicans are 44,707. The unaffiliated are 46,460.
What in the world is going on in the Republican Party?
a bunch of total
Nonsense.
nonsense and ridiculousness.
We
Absolutely
got two
nonsense.
school
And
board
we're
members.
talking about. Let me stop you. We're talking about the Onslow County Republican
Yes,
Party.
I know that.
Yeah.
We've got two seats to fill on the Republican Party, the executive committee in the Republican Party. They've got to fill two seats
That's right.
on the Onslow County Board of Education, right?
Right.
Now,
If they can come
there are
together.
about 70 people on that executive
You're
committee.
close to that, yes, give or take. That's assuming that most positions are filled, because you've got 24 precinct positions,
Correct.
18 at-large positions. You've got your board, which is comprised of your chairman, vice, secretary, treasurer, assistant treasurer. That's 5. And I don't think all those are filled. And you have your elected officials, which comprise your executive committee also. They have been a part of the executive committee for well over 20, 25 years.
So 7 or 9 members of this
Executive committee, right?
Yeah, well, no, 9 members. I guess they are because
Yeah,
they're the
they're
precinct chairs.
Right.
Not all of them are precinct chairs, according to this.
Right.
6 are precinct chairs, and 3 are member at large.
That's right, member at large.
If they're member at large on the executive committee or member at large in the precinct, because if they're member at large in the precinct, they don't count towards the executive committee. The only one in the precinct that counts is the precinct chair.
Okay.
It just says member. It literally says member at large.
Now they
Well, it
could
says
be
member at large Bear Creek, member at large Half Moon,
okay. Then
and member at large somewhere
well,
else.
if I had to go by that, I would say then they're not on the executive committee. If they're a member of large of the executive committee and not of the precinct, then
So,
they are. So
Anyway, they got together and they sent a letter to all elected officials. I'm assuming the
Yes.
Republican elected
Yeah,
officials
of
in
course,
Onslow
yes.
County.
well, go ahead, send it to the Democrats. Let's see what happens.
Oh, they've got it. They've already
I'm
got it.
sure they do.
What?
And they are
embarrassment.
calling for,
It's
they've
ridiculous.
somehow or another, they came up with some kind of, want to change the way the GOP
Mhm.
fills vacancies, right?
Right.
Well, they got changed a few years ago because
Yes,
it
it
was
did.
whatever the board it was.
It was a
with the-
resolution that was presented
Yep.
through one of the precincts,
Uh-huh.
and it was voted on by the executive committee to
Uh-huh.
pass it on to the state. It went to the state legislature,
Yeah.
went through the House, and it sat in the Senate for a while. And I think it was 2019 when it was finally picked up and voted on. And we were added to, like, there was 28 other counties that are doing the same
Yep.
thing.
They keep saying 6.
I don't know where they're
Do they
getting
not know
six
how to
from.
add?
Well, they ran out of fingers.
I
and
don't
toes.
know. So you go read General Statute 115C. I mean, it shows all the other counties there. So
But they want to change, but it's not going to happen. Even if it goes through, it's not going to
Right.
happen prior to this election.
no,
So now they are asking all of the elected officials to step aside and don't vote.
why?
Now,
I
if,
mean-
if they did that, that would mathematically likely place
Them
control of
in
the
control.
executive committee in charge.
Mhm.
This radical, weird group of individuals out there who are doing everything they can.
To shred and tear down the Onslow County Republican
Well,
Party.
let me say something about the elected officials. The people of Onslow County voted those elected officials.
Not this
in.
group.
No,
Yeah.
the group that we.
I know this group thinks they are like the greatest thing ever.
No, I'm
but they're
talking
really
about
not.
our elected officials that we have now that are
Well,
Republicans,
some of
like our
them,
commissioners.
some of them in that group voted against these people, supported other people,
Well, that's true.
and also supported somebody else to be the Republican chairwoman, chairman, chairperson.
Chairperson. Well, what I'm saying
So
is
what's
our
going on?
elected officials were elected by the people in this county. So they're not up there voting just for themselves. They're voting for the people that they represent. And that's the way
Correct.
it's always been.
Just like they do for everything else they
That's
do
right,
in
for
office.
everything else.
Okay.
2 years ago, when we voted to replace William Shanahan, who became judge.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a smooth operation. We had it all talked about, figured out how everything was going to run, brought in people. Even the 3rd district chairman came in and was a judge in that and a voter. I mean, he tabulated the votes and stuff. Everything was done above board. Everybody signed documents that said they would accept it, blah, blah, blah. I mean, we went through the whole thing. So now, what is the purpose of trying? I have a feeling this is going to be a mess.
It
gonna be a
already is.
mess.
It's been a mess. It's been a mess.
Well,
I'm
somebody
reading-
was irritated because they didn't get the position of a chairperson.
Right.
And
Right.
it's been downhill ever since.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I've been looking at.
Yes.
That's what
I
I've
look at
heard too.
timelines.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why we had a certain former senator that took a bashing, because he actually got up and recommended and threw his support behind the now present chairperson.
Yep.
And so they started attacking him after that, because
Yep.
how dare he get up and support her? And so that's why he got attacked so bad over his sale of Hines Farm, equine country to the county. And that's why he took such a beating. So this is nothing but malicious, malingering, crazy people, I mean, I don't see you at the county meetings. I don't see you inquiring, trying to, be a part of the county. They're just busy trying to tear down the county. in my
But
opinion,
right
so.
now, today, the 12th of September, 2022, the way the Onslow County Republican Party is structured, the executive committee selects
That's right.
the replacement.
They vote on it and they select.
And that's according to general statute.
That's right.
Okay. So this letter wants
The elected officials to refrain from voting.
refrain from voting.
And I feel like the reason why they're asking this is because they know that elected officials hold a big number on the executive committee.
Oh, interesting here.
Yes. What's that? Oh, gosh. But they hold a large number.
This is a Facebook post or some, I don't know what it was. Steve Reed is with Philip Shepard and 83 others at this time.
Right.
I'm proud to announce and ask for your support of Christy Lopez for Onslow County School Board in the special appointment of the vacated BOE seat, being appointed by Onslow GOP. She was the next runner-up in the very election against Eric.
It was in 2020.
Yeah.
And this is the same individual who
Eric Whitfield, and misspelled Eric, by the way, and deserves the spot she earned. No one has more experience and more heart and dedication to protecting it. Isn't Christy Lopez related to
his
Steve
wife.
Reed?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But she's also the one that did not participate in the candidate forum and wanted him to come and speak for her.
Well, my whole thing is, why is he speaking for her? See, that was part of the
Well, why
problem with
doesn't
her
he run?
campaign.
I think
Is that
he's just her puppet master.
Yeah, he did all the speaking. I like Christy, I really do. But if she wants to run, she needs to get up there and be the vocal point. She needs to be the one to talk, because we need to know who she is.
No pinch hitters.
And Steve Reed, my opinion, is not a good PR person for her, because he's done nothing but bash the Republican Party for the last couple of years and issues and stuff like that. So he does not need to be the one speaking for her.
Remember, he's the Republican good fella.
I don't know. Whatever.
That's what he calls himself on his podcast or whatever they are.
Oh, I've
calls everybody
I've never
rhinos.
met him. I've never seen him. I've seen his house back when I used to walk. But
Yeah. Well, he calls himself the Republican and calls a bunch of people rhinos, yet he used to be a registered Democrat.
Yeah, up
How
until he
much
came
more
to Onslow
rhino
County. That's
can
right.
you be? Yeah.
And he said the reason why he was a Democrat all those years up to when he finally switched over, it was late 2016, I think it's when he switched over, is to make his father mad.
That's the dumbest thing I've absolutely
Yeah.
ever heard
I
of.
would have found a better excuse.
Yeah.
second dumbest.
Okay.
Eric Whitfield in his closing statements a week and a half
Okay, I
ago
Oh,
agree with
yeah.
you.
had the
Okay,
dumbest
yeah.
statement
Oh,
I've
yeah.
ever
But
heard.
here's the thing: if there's no
$200,000
quorum
later.
for the executive committee to vote, are these people well aware that then if there's no quorum reached, the Board of Education will be selecting who they want
Which,
on that
in my
board?
opinion, right now is probably the best thing to
I do
happen.
think that'd be the
Well,
best thing.
they've got the GOP has got 30 days from the
Mm-hmm.
official date,
Mhm.
and with it, that they were notified and told effective this date. So they've got 30 days to come together and pick a replacement. Now, if they don't do it within the 30 days, then it does revert back to the Board of Education. And I don't know, the way it's looking right now, that might be the best thing ever. Let the Board of Education pick who they think is the most qualified, because this is going to be, in my opinion, and I hope and I pray that I'm wrong, but it's going to be a fight.
It's already
It's gonna be a
becoming a
It's
fight.
gotten nasty on
You've
Facebook.
got a letter
Good
signed by 6
Lord.
precinct chairs out of 24.
First
They
of all, that's not the job of a precinct chair.
No, it is not. But they are causing hate and discontent,
Mhm.
stirring up nonsense. 6 precinct chairs and 3 member at large.
Right.
Eric won,
Yes.
by the way. He started this stuff
Yes.
Right.
in this county.
Right.
Mhm.
He went in
Well,
it
I
with
do want
malice
to
aforethought.
address one thing is, this was the 2020 election.
Yep.
It was a presidential year.
Mhm.
Onslow County has pretty much gone primary Republican, has been for a while, since around 2016, I think it started flipping. I know you have more unaffiliated, but they tend to vote Republican anyway. So you've got five positions on the county commissioners that's on the ballot, and they're listed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Republicans. And then I think we had 2 Democrats.
Mhm.
Well, we had primarily Republican voters. They're going to go in there, pick 5, choose 5. They're picking all 5 of the names on the ballot that are Republicans.
Mhm.
And it is my firm belief that that's how he got elected.
Of course it is.
Now, the party, we did disavow him because of his racial remarks
When
he
you
made
were
on
in
social
charge
media.
of the party.
That's right. I told you, I called him personally and told him that we were disavowing him because, we're not going to support the racial remarks. So we did not put him on any paperwork. We did not put him on voter guides. We had nothing in our headquarters, supporting him. That's as much as we could do. Of course, he went to newspapers and television
Yep.
media and radio, and that's as much as we can do. And as far as standing out there at the polls, we support the people that are on our voter guides, and these
And
are the people that we
obviously,
push.
absent was one person.
That's right.
So
And
that
of
should be a
course,
clue.
we have people like Mr. Reed who want to say, it's my fault because Eric got elected. Well, whatever. But that's not the way to get your wife in there,
Well,
constantly
here's
bashing.
the thing, too, what these people fail to understand. Not everybody is active in the Onslow County Republican
That's
Party.
right.
I've got hundreds of Republican friends who
Mhm.
don't do diddly squat with the Republican
They
Party.
just go vote.
They just go vote. So,
Right.
I mean, I think, some people's heads or bodies are too big for their britches, thinking that, everybody's involved with the Republican Party, because they're not. Some people are just straight Republicans. They go vote, and then the next election, and they don't ever get involved. We have become a pure laughing stock and an embarrassment.
Yep.
This infighting is ridiculous. And I'm pretty
I
certain.
guess we're rhinos unglued now.
I'm seriously going to change my affiliation. I think I'm probably going to do it this week. I've had it. I'm done. This is so ridiculous, and it's an embarrassment. And I'm embarrassed to be called a Republican in Onslow County right now. Totally embarrassed. This whole Republican Party in Onslow County is falling apart. It's
Well,
bad.
I just hope and pray that it'll pull together this
How's
2022.
it going to happen? How's it going? Tell me how you think that's going to be achieved.
I don't know, but I think it's time for some people that are in there making all the mischief. I think it's time for them to be asked to leave.
That should have happened.
I
Months
think
ago.
they need to. They need to
happened
go.
months ago.
We need to get back to business of the county and business of the party. But these people just constantly and this just what gets me. You've got one that's running for a position on the 2022 ballot. It's a nonpartisan position, but yet this person was the one that was responsible and has admitted it, and he's on video putting out the signs out on the roadways and stuff against the commissioners that were running. Now
I
that
forgot
right
about
there is
that.
party disloyalty,
It
and
is
he
party
should have been put
disloyalty.
out right then and there. He should have been asked to leave because you don't, a member of the executive committee, and you're out there bashing other Republicans running on the ballot. No, that's party disloyalty.
It totally
Should have been
is.
asked to leave.
Mhm.
And now he's running for a position within the county as an elected official.
Good luck.
No,
Well, I'm
Yeah,
not
but
voting for that
nobody's
moron.
nobody running
So-
against him though.
Oh, yes, there
Yeah,
is.
Is there?
Yes,
Oh,
the
okay.
the incumbent's daughter, from what I'm hearing, and somebody else. But
Okay.
you know,
All right, let's
Let's
take a
take a
break
break.
and do some weather. You're live and local real talk. I told you it's going to get hot right here, 910-333-0139. Republicans, what's going on in your party? We want to hear from you. 910-333-0139. Okay, we're back here. 910-333-0139. Got any Republicans out there?
I needed that break.
Any Republicans out there got any suggestions about how to keep your party together?
Oh, there you go.
We have a rabble-rousing Republican. Hello, George. Yep, you got a.
Hello, how are you all
There you
doing?
go.
Well, good morning,
Had some feedback there for a
George.
minute. What's
Some of
up?
it might be me.
It was you.
How are y'all doing today?
We're kicking.
Rafer's got us riled up.
No, I heard. That's why I had to call in.
So what's up?
So I know that you got involved with the Republican Party just within the last year or so when you decided to run for an office. And I kind of get the impression that you kind of have a distaste right now for party politics.
I will say, you sometimes got to sit back and actually appreciate things. So I will say that out of the entire 3rd District, this county had the most absurd issues I saw all over the place.
Right.
But I will say that there was consistently more help from like true Republicans in Onslow County, other than like anywhere else, like Lee or even like the chairwoman Melinda, and didn't go anywhere outside of their scope and realm. They said, "I'm the chairperson. This is how," and just offered like their brains of, if you have questions, let me know. I can guide you, point you in the right direction. So there's still the few good like roots that are planted. The problem is the leaves just need to get trimmed sometimes.
Yeah, I agree.
You still got some feedback coming
still
in.
Good people.
Yeah, George, you got some feedback coming in. If you got a radio turned up, you might turn it down.
I don't know why I'm hearing that. Probably because I drove.
There you go.
No, I think we lost him.
No, he's still there, right, George? Nope. He tried to do something. I think hit the wrong button. He's probably trying to go on, get off speakerphone.
Well, George was also a victim of some of these bunch of nonsense.
Yeah, he
people.
was.
Yeah, he was.
So, the same ones causing some of the problems. George.
All right,
was a
George, you
victim of
back? Get up.
Can you hear me?
Gotcha. Loud and clear. Layman
Yeah.
Charlie, bud.
Yeah, I think it's because it keeps connecting to the truck and back.
Nah, that's probably it.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Anywho, I guess the point is that it's very easy to get discouraged, and if you look, that's what voter statistics do too. Like when 14% of the people show up to a primary. So what I don't get is the people that are trying to make a stir. It's like failing on itself if less and less people are going to vote. So maybe if we all just work together, like the good old concept of teamwork and things like that, it'd probably work out better, and the outcome would be better as well. Because anyway, that's my thought. Lee was one of the nice people that helped me out, so I want her to know that in the radio to know that she is good.
Thank you. I know we had a lot. We had a long,
not all
long talk that
Republicans
one
are
day.
bad.
Yeah. No. We have
Just
a
like-
good party, and we have good people that work hard in it. We just have a group that it's time for them to go on to other things. Go start their own party. Go start their own thing.
Just don't join mine.
Yeah. Just leave it alone and leave us alone and let us go back business as usual.
And my gosh, I hope we don't make a debauchery out of the school board. The one thing I've yet to
No, I hope
understand
not
about
either.
North Carolina, being from New York, is how the school board has anything to do with politics to begin with. Because in New York, it's like parents, and there's no, political affiliation. It's just like the people that live down the block from you run for school board, and that's how it is. There's no.
Yeah. Well,
They
over
would
the
get really
years,
amped
all
up for
that
school board. It's
changed.
crazy.
Right.
It's for the children. That's what I don't get. Like, I got a almost 13-year-old daughter that in 2 years is going to be the age of the people that were getting stabbed 2 weeks ago. But we forget that happened because we're arguing about how we're going to point someone to be on the school board to make a decision that probably won't benefit to the good to begin with because they're too fed up in themselves rather than thinking about the point of what a school board member does. Anyway, sorry about that rant.
And it cost $200,000 to get him off that board. So
Yeah.
$200,000 that the school system could have used for something
so
else.
far, Rayford. The
I know
costs
that.
are not done.
It's-
There's still
it's
that
going.
federal lawsuit, and Lord knows how much that's going to end up costing.
Oh, well.
All right, George. Thank you, sir.
Well, you all have a wonderful day.
You too. Keep
It's
it under
beautiful out there.
too.
River looks flat, so if you want to
Yeah.
go fishing,
Keep it under control. I'll be back
blast.
tomorrow.
fair enough.
Bye. Let's take a break here live and local. Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. Coming up here shortly, you guys have touched on the Lincoln Reagan dinner.
Yes.
It's coming up next month, is it, or this month?
This month, the
This month.
24th of September. It's
Okay.
an annual fundraiser for the Republican Party.
Mhm.
A lot of counties call it the Reagan Dinner. A lot of call them the Lincoln Reagan. You know, I know as Onslow County, we've always referred to ours as Lincoln Reagan, honoring those two presidents.
Mhm.
And it's a fundraiser, and usually you have a special guest attend. This year is going to be Ted Budd,
Mhm.
who is running, of course, for U.S. Senate.
All right. And yeah, he's got the nomination.
Right.
He did that during I forgot even
The
what that
primary.
primary was.
Yeah,
My
I know.
God.
Doesn't it seem like it was a year ago?
It does.
Really.
Anyway, that's coming up, and we've got a gentleman going to be calling in here in a few minutes.
Chris Barr, right?
Chris Barr's going to call in and talk about that. Is he leading that fundraiser this year, or is he?
No, he's on the committee, I believe, and
Mhm.
Chris Parr runs a production company
Sure.
too, so he does a lot of productions and stuff. So he's supposed to be calling in and giving information about it.
Got it.
I know if you go to the Onslow County Republican Party Facebook site, it's got all the information where you can click on a link and purchase your tickets, and it's going to be at Sturgeon City,
Again,
September 24th.
that's a good venue.
Yeah, it is a good venue. It's because you can open up all those rooms and have such a large
Yep.
room and area, and it's good location, plenty of parking. So, but Ted Budd is going to be the featured speaker, and I'm sure there'll be other probably elected officials that will probably be a part of the program, like our Senator Lazara
Mhm.
and some of our House of Representatives. So it's always a good time. It really is. Nice dinner, sit down dinner, provided by Golden Corral.
Yeah,
And
that's
Billy,
always going to be good.
Billy always puts on a good spread.
Yeah, he does.
He does a great job with providing the yummy for your tummy. And so there'll probably be an open bar for those that would like to have an adult beverage. And so it's always a good time. It's a good fundraiser. All the counties do it every year. Usually we do it like February, but I think since we had just had one prior year, late in the year, we went ahead and you waited a little bit later this year.
Yeah.
So, but it's to raise funds for the 2022 election to support the candidates.
Yeah. Well, I looked up the score for the Jacksonville game against West
Did
Carteret
you?
last
Because
week.
I've just tried to look it up. Oh no, you say that like I don't want to know. No.
49-3.
What?
Yeah.
Jacksonville, right?
Yes.
Oh God. Ooh, dun, 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 dun.
That's
Okay.
good.
Yes.
Yeah.
I should have asked my friend who lives in Carteret County because he was supposed to be going to all those.
Well,
he probably didn't want to tell me.
it was.
Way to go, Jacksonville.
I'd like to have gone, but I got back from a procedure Friday, so
Not always
I
a
didn't
good
want to go
time
climbing anything.
I don't blame you. Well, I'm glad that it was out of town too. I'm glad that most of the games are out of town, which gave the schools time to kind of recuperate
Mhm.
and bring themselves back together again
Yeah.
after that tragedy that happened
I
a couple
hope-
of weeks ago.
I hope that we'll get over it, and I hope we, get some resolution going here, and I hope something will come of it. I'm still waiting to hear about how involved the gangs were.
Right.
I do know that there was gang related.
Right.
And we're going to find out something a little
Well,
interesting.
I know the morning that Kelly and I were in the station, and when the news started breaking, I mean, right away people were saying it was gang related.
Yeah.
I mean, of course we didn't know at that time, we couldn't confirm it,
Nope.
anything, but there's been talk of it ever since.
Yeah.
But I understand there's a group that's supposed to be having a big, let me see if I can find it, a big meeting, a big get together with people of the community, and trying to work on different ways. Here it is. Thursday, the 15th. This is September 15th and 17th. 15th is at Cindy Run Center. 17th is at Jackson Common. It's called the People's Coalition Presents Education Town Hall Meeting. How can you help our students? Sponsored by People's Coalition, which must be a new group. You're invited to attend city and county organizations, community leaders, all residents. For more information, call. And I understand these are just different people like AMVETS and other organizations
Mhm.
that are all getting together. So Maybe we can get somebody to call us about that and explain it. I know Bill Lanier, if he's listening, maybe he can let us know.
Memphis shooting spree suspect Ezekiel Kelly. Remember him? Who police say shot
Yes.
7 people in an hours-long rampage last Wednesday, killed 4. Had been charged with a shooting involving 3 victims in 2020. He shot 2 people and almost hit a third one in that situation. He ultimately took a guilty plea, a deal, admitting only to a felony aggravated assault charge, not in shooting 2 people and almost hit another one. That's not a felony aggravated assault charge. No. He was sentenced to 3 years in prison. However, he was released after 11 months. He walked free in March this year. He was initially indicted for attempted first-degree murder in the shooting death of one guy and assault on another involving a firearm and the reckless endangerment of another one, putting the latter in imminent danger of death or serious bodily injury. This is our problem. Plea deals, probation, and just turning bad guys loose.
Yep.
When you've got somebody for trying to kill people with a gun, and then you reduce it, you take a guilty plea for aggravated assault.
We need to sit back and take a long, hard look at our laws.
What do you think these people are going to do?
Ridiculous.
They're going to get out and be nice people?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go again. A 33-year-old South Carolina man out on bond told cops he was blackout drunk when he broke into his ex-girlfriend's home. Go ahead and hold on to something because I'm going to make you both mad. And dumped the ashes of her deceased child into the trash.
I saw that.
Oh, no.
Joseph Oberles was charged with first-degree burglary and destruction of human remains after he was booked into the detention center in North Charleston last Thursday morning. He was released on $60,000 bond that evening. Police responded last Monday, to a report of a home B&E that took place 2 days earlier. Oberles was reportedly recorded at 3 a.m. Saturday by a security camera as he approached the door of his ex-girlfriend's house, entered the security code, and went into the home. He was taped leaving the residence minutes later and returned a little after 4 a.m. Stayed there till 7:52 a.m.
Obviously, she wasn't there.
Right. The female victim dated Oberles for several months earlier this year. Threw him off the property on August 23rd. Said if you come back, you go to jail for trespassing. She claimed to police that she was not at home when Oberles broke into it. But that, in addition to taking a hammer to her flat screen TV, he dumped the ashes of the child she had with her ex-husband into the garbage. The victim noted Oberles could not have known she and her children would not be at home when he broke in, which made her frightened to think of what he would have done if they had been there. He'd been out on bond for an earlier arrest on August 5th when he was charged with first-degree assault and battery. For that offense, he broke into the house of one of his exes and stabbed her.
Oh, my word.
So he initially claimed he was not in the area when the latest break-in occurred, but later told police he was blackout drunk and was unable to remember.
Well, cameras don't lie. That's why cameras are so
Well, they got him.
Yeah, yeah.
Why was he out on bond for stabbing his another ex?
It goes to the way the bond system is, and that's always a state. Well, at least in North Carolina, that's a General Assembly thing. And like I said, I'm gonna go on record again as saying we need to start holding our, state elected officials accountable for these crazy low bonds they have out there. Mm-hmm. Don't let them continue. Don't keep reelecting them if they're not actually going to do their jobs. Period. Bottom line. Because they only start, for some of them, the only time they ever do anything is when it's about time to be elected.
Bunch of border sheriffs are telling the DC mayor, bashing them for saying, We got to declare a state of emergency over all these migrant buses they got coming up here. They've got 10,000 migrants from Texas and Arizona since April have arrived in Washington, D.C., and we don't know what to do with them. Guess what? Border Patrol has already had cases with over 2 million since the first of the year. 2 million. They got 10,000. They'll blend in with the background in D.C. 2 million interactions with. And D.C.'s complaining. Boo hoo. You're a sanctuary city. Tough. And they're going to Chicago. Chicago's mayor is sending them to the suburbs. New York says, it's okay, send them all up here. We're just going to reroute them and send them other places. We'll help them. We'll feed them. We'll do this. We'll do that. Our taxpayers, they don't mind. It's okay. And besides, we can get Biden to give us some federal money.
Well, y'all wanted to be a sanctuary city.
And we'll get more money from the federal government. And we'll get lots of money. And we can do other things with that money, too. And you think we're going to give it all to the migrants?
We're
No.
only like 33.
Kind of like COVID money, people.
Well, let's not go there because stories I hear about people who obtained that COVID money that wasn't entitled to it, business owners or landlords that, well, all I can say is I hope they don't get caught. Yeah, it's a lot of money wasted right there.
It's a ridiculous world we live in because of the ridiculous people that live in this world. So whatever else. 910-333-0139. Waiting for a call from Chris Barr. He should be calling in any moment now, I hope.
Well, I got something for you.
Okay.
You know, kids do not get, in my opinion, enough. A complaint a lot of kids have often is they're not listened to, even when they have like serious, legitimate issues. And I agree. I think just because a person is a kid doesn't, I've repeatedly said, they should be, don't discount them just because they're kids. Kids are intelligent, and today's teenagers are savvy with databases and, cameras. And so the headline, this reads, a Rhode Island teacher is on leave after a group of middle school boys who thought he was a creep used a pedo database to keep track of how he interacted with girls in their class. Let me tell you why these kids did this. This group of middle schoolers thought that he was a creep towards girls in a class. They went to adults in the school to complain that they thought he was inappropriate, and they got ignored.
Wow.
So these boys said, all right, we got you. And they got together.
Blanket party?
And they said, we're going to keep a database in case he's ever caught. And that, we will. So they did it. They kept a log of all his inappropriate interactions with girls in their class. Now this particular teacher is on administrative leave and under, I think, a federal investigation. It's the Davisville Middle School.
That's because she didn't do anything about it.
Well, what happened was they watched their teacher. They started the pedo database after watching their teacher oogle at girls in their class, giving them nicknames like Sweetheart and Sunshine, and asking them to dance for him.
Really? Wow.
And the boys said the adults didn't take him seriously. And the teacher himself even commented that he'd received complaints for decades without any action being taken against him. And the one boy noticed how uncomfortable the girls were. Now, these are young middle school boys that noticed. So they said, finally, the boys in 2021 in January got, they noticed that the girls would fake laugh when he would do something creepy because they were afraid of him. And the boys, even young middle school boys who were about as immature as a day is long, knew something wasn't right. And they knew these girls were being humiliated. So the boys got together and they said, we decided to make a pedo database on Discord, which I guess is a platform, to gather evidence of his behavior. That's what these kids did because they were like, nobody will listen to us. So now,
good for them.
It is the official chat they said that this is what one of the boys wrote in the group chat. This is now the official chat that we will later use as evidence against the teacher about pedophilia in case anything does come up in the future and we do turn out to be right. These are young middle school kids. So when COVID hit and the classes had to go online. The teacher said to them, "You all love me, so choose love. You got to stand up and dance." Now, I want them to dance like for the camera. And then he told them, "Y'all should all be," and told the girls, "You should be in bathing suits tomorrow." Like sicko.
Really?
And then once they resumed to in-school classes, they tracked every time the teacher teased or flirted with girls. At one time, he asked a girl to take off her shoes and wiggle her toes. And one boy told the Boston Globe he felt bad for the girls because sometimes it just seemed like he was doing things to humiliate them. He'd play a song and he'd make one of them get up and dance. So in April of this year, he was escorted out of school and placed on leave because they were investigating allegations that he stalked a preteen middle school girl that he coached and had been inappropriate. So the family of the middle school girl reported the behavior to school, and they claimed they were met with deliberate indifference. The reason that he was removed from coaching middle schoolers is because the family threatened to take out a restraining order. So what happened was one of the kids told the mom, "We've got this database. We've been tracking this idiot for like 3 years." The mom contacted the U.S. Attorney's Office,
Good.
the Rhode Island Department of Children, Youth, and Families, the state education, and the lawyer of the other girl. And the boy said, one of the boys, who's now a high school student, said, "I did not ever think this would actually be used as evidence, but we always had it in case it was. I'm so glad that we did, even though it might have seemed slightly stupid at the times. We knew something was wrong."
Timeline.
Yeah.
Keep records.
And good on these kids for, and
Absolutely.
shame on these people for discounting these kids.
Yeah.
But good on them for having enough sense to maintain it no matter what. And it's like they knew. They knew eventually.
These kids
Yeah.
need to go to the Board of Education and give them some advice.
Heck yeah, they need to get rid of whoever's running that Board of Education.
Definitely whoever's in charge of the school. They let this go on and on and on. Wow. Okay, let's take a quick break. You're live in local Real Talk, Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. We'll be right back. It doesn't take long when a good forecast turns into a bad day on the water. You know that
Yeah.
because of the weather. The weather can change in a heartbeat. That's one reason that Tideline Marine, right here in Jacksonville, wants you to play safe on the water. And that means knowing in advance what the predicted conditions will be. Of course, that can change even while you're already out there boating, especially if you're far offshore. When picking a marine band VHF radio, Tideline suggests, and I wholeheartedly recommend this, that you pick out one that has a built-in weather alert system on board. They're not that expensive. In the event of severe weather, it activates automatically and gives you details of potential weather hazards. Tideline Marine and Family on the banks of the New River at 159 Old Bridge Street in downtown Jacksonville. Go by, check them out today. They open in 6 minutes from now. There is a chance for showers and thunderstorms over the next couple of days, and that could bring those choppy seas I'm talking about. Only during the storm, though, because the weather otherwise is looking pretty decent. Southwesterly winds 10 to 15, seas 2 to 4, dominant period 9 seconds. Sounds and rivers a moderate chop. Southwesterly winds on Tuesday 10 to 15, 3 to 5 footers, 2 to 3 near shore. Sounds and rivers, again, a moderate chop. Northerly winds on Wednesday about 10 knots, becoming northeasterly later in the day, seas 2 to 4 feet.
Today, mostly cloudy, high of 87, and then showers and thunderstorms after 4 o'clock. Tonight, rain, showers and thunderstorms. Otherwise, mostly cloudy, a low of 73. Tomorrow, partly sunny, a high of 86. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, low of 65. And on Wednesday, mostly sunny, high of 85.
Still a couple of systems out there, disturbances. They're not systems. They're disturbances out there. One just coming off the coast of Africa, and the other about midway across between Africa and the Leeward Islands. So they're still way down south, and they have no indication they're going to form up to anything. But just let you know that's what's happening. Mr. Biden. He's got proposed changes for this, what they call Title IX, right?
Right.
Stirred up a lot of controversy that they've generated a record number of public comments from parents, many of whom are concerned about their children's safety in schools and what the amendments will mean for women's sports. The Biden administration proposed new regulations on the 50th anniversary of Title IX, which prohibits sex-based discrimination in schools. They want to expand the protections to include sexual orientation and gender identity. The Defense of Freedom Institute for Policy Studies recently released a study highlighting what they call the dirty dozen defects of the draft. The defects, the group said, has fired parents up. Most are those that would require schools and colleges to allow biological males to compete in girls' sports and use bathrooms and locker rooms that correspond with their gender identity. I'm feeling like a girl today. I'm going into that head that says ladies only.
Yeah, well.
And I'll tell you what, there's going to be some of them women in some of those locker rooms that might just take matters into their own hands with, whap, whap. Monday marks the last day. Today is the last day of public comment period for the Title IX proposals. As of Friday, it received a record-breaking number of comments for the Department of Education. 184,000 as of yesterday from individuals sounding off on the rule to redefine sex.
Wow.
Really?
There you go.
Really. They're picketing. They got signs out there. Reform Title IX, save our sports. Oh my. Honk for student athletes. Good. This is a rally outside the Department of Education in Washington last Thursday. I'll tell you, this guy is like, really, what is going on with him? What he's not doing it. We all know that.
He's not.
We don't know what
we know
who the
these
puppet
aren't
master
his
is.
ideas.
It's got to be Obama, because he's the only one with enough brass to get up there to be able to control this guy. I don't think it's Jill Biden. I don't think she's got any control over it.
No. She's just busy trying to keep him dressed and getting him up and
tying his shoes.
Keeping them off the bikes,
We need to get a close-up shot of his shoes and see if they're the Velcro kind.
I like Velcro shoes. They're easy to get off and on.
It's a little bit of style.
Just saying. I mean, they are. I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
Okay. So we don't have Chris Barr today. We have him
No,
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Okay.
Apparently,
Okay.
yes.
Well,
So-
he's going to tell you pretty much what I've already told you about Lincoln.
The Lincoln
movie
Reagan
dinner,
is
so,
coming up.
Yeah,
And how much tickets are? I'm assuming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to
Well,
look and see.
Well, once again, kudos to kids. El Paso, Texas, and at Franklin High School. Now, once again, people videotape everything, right?
yeah, they do.
Okay. So now a teacher is on administrative leave and facing termination after she told students to call pedophiles minor attracted persons in an incident that was captured on video and shared on social media. It's an 18-second clip. They were calling them pedophiles, and she was overheard telling the students to stop calling them that. You're not allowed to label people like that. We're not going to call them that. We're going to call them MAPs, minor attracted persons. So don't judge people just because they want to have sex with a 5-year-old. Well, these kids lost their minds, as they should have.
Yes.
Put that mess on social media. And the rest, as we say, is now becoming
Where is
history.
she?
She has been placed on administrative leave. So then
There are consequences for your actions, people. There should be.
the school district is not, they're not going to answer what led to this even classroom discussion, because this was a classroom discussion on something. But so it happened at a special board meeting on September 6th. The board of trustees approved a decision to notify a teacher of proposed termination. Any allegation of potential misconduct is investigated thoroughly. Now, so one of the school district would not disclose its findings, and they're saying it's a personnel matter. But they voted unanimously to initiate termination procedures, with the next step being an appeals process governed by Texas Education Code. And she's on paid administrative leave. Now, originally, prior to the vote, so you got to remember, before the vote was made, after they had reviewed, quote, the evidence. Prior to that, the vice president said the classroom exchange was taken out of context. But after he heard this district's findings, this dude changed his mind. He said, initially, I was shocked and horrified when I saw the video. Then I heard she was trying to be sarcastic. I felt bad for her. However, when the district's investigation into the situation helped me understand the story, I have no doubt that terminating this teacher is the right thing to do. Any reasonable person that heard the results of the investigation would vote to terminate her. So guarantee you, he would not say what changed his mind. I guarantee you, A, they talked to the kids about what was going on in class. B, they viewed the entire video and said, oh no. This is what I'm saying. People are fed up. They're fed up with these crazy books in schools. The kids are fed up with not being heard.
Yep.
They are filming. They are taking databases. They are basically taking names and kicking butt, as they should. The people are done. Done. There's no a minor attracted person term, and I know a lot of the liberals want that to be used.
Why?
Should be outlawed.
Why? Why do they want that to be used?
Sick.
What have they got against?
Sick.
What have they got against protecting kids?
Sick. It's just sick. Absolutely sick.
Minor attracted
Oh my Lord. Oh my God.
person?
Makes my blood boil.
Oh my.
Mm-mm.
What do they call a rapist? I wonder.
Overly enthusiastic? I don't know. I mean, who knows?
What did they call a murderer?
Probably misunderstood. I don't know that either.
I just call them unshot yet.
Yeah, people are just done.
House lawmakers go back to work tomorrow, finally. Going to be a 3-week legislative session. At the end of it, Congress must avert a government shutdown ahead of September 30th. That's the end of the fiscal year. You got that? They don't have anything in place yet. They are eyeing a short-term funding bill. You know, when the Democrats are in charge, this is what's happening at the House. They're looking at a short-term funding bill known as a continuing resolution that will keep the government open until early December. What's so important about early December?
I don't know.
Keeps the voters' minds off what's going on.
Yeah.
So up in November when the election is happening.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Because if we were
Yeah.
going to shut down,
Mhm.
we couldn't get together, couldn't get a solid majority to get this thing done, which they're not going to, then the government would shut down. And how would that look for election day for the Democrats?
Makes
Mhm.
sense. Makes
So the
sense.
Democrats,
Yeah.
sneaky little boogers that they are, have put off doing anything until the last minute so they can do this and keep the voters' minds off of it. It'll be out of the voters' mind. I think they'll just shut the government down and start with the White House.
Right.
Well-
Let Congress do their work by virtual. Don't even show up.
Well, don't they kind of do that anyway?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Let them
Um,
do it. Let them do it. Virtually do it, and then y'all get out there while you're trying to do that, so that the public can see what's going on, and then you try to win the election in November. That's what's going on. It gives them more time to campaign. That's what is happening.
Yeah.
Gives them the entire month of October to campaign if they can get this done
True.
without any flack coming their way.
Well, did you see your girl Kamala Harris was busy being vocal this weekend? One, she's said she would welcome to run with Biden for reelection.
Good.
And she has made a comment yesterday that she thinks our current Supreme Court, she's not confident about the integrity of our current Supreme Court. She thinks this is an activist court.
And she's a lawyer.
Agreed.
Yeah. Well.
And a liberal.
No.
But yeah,
But she's a lawyer.
she has.
And she makes comments like that
She
about the
did.
Supreme Court of this nation.
She certainly did.
As the vice president, she makes those kinds of comments.
Yep.
What is wrong with her?
Well, I would say a lot, but where do we start? But she won't comment about our border situation.
No.
She won't
She's
comment about the amount of
she's
drugs
border
coming
czar.
in. And it says nothing about it, about all the drugs coming in, overdosing our citizens. All the, who knows, terrorists coming in, going to do who knows what to our nation.
Oh, we do know what.
Yeah, no.
They're going to take over.
Oh, my
They're
Lord.
going to go through
Make
and
my hair
and
hurt.
start just killing people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well,
They're
they're
gonna-
doing that subtly with the overdoses, but yes.
They're doing it with overdoses.
Mhm.
They're going to be infiltrating the gangs if they haven't already.
Oh, they've already done that. Yeah,
Okay,
they
so they're going to
started
be
that,
inside
yeah.
the gangs. They're going to get
Yeah.
the gangs on their side
Mhm.
because we don't have really brilliant people in gangs. You know that, right?
Mm.
They're half wits at the best. So they can easily take over, sell them a bill of goods, get a bunch of guns in here.
Oh, well,
Get
yeah,
a
they're
bunch of
doing that
money
too.
in here.
Yeah.
They can do that and get all the drugs that they want in
Mhm.
here.
Mhm.
So we know how that's going to work. Wow. Did you see mudslide in California?
No.
Oh yeah.
Oh
they
my!
went-
A whole bunch of cars got stuck in the mudslide.
and they had rescued them by air, didn't they?
Helicopters. The Los Angeles Fire Department had to get the people out of there. Had to be airlifted out.
Whew.
You go buy cars. Don't buy any used cars from California.
Yeah, between the first they had the wildfires, then they had the rain come up the coast from the storm, and now
Yeah.
they have the mudslides.
Yeah, about 50 people and 24 cars had to be rescued.
There's so many reasons why I would not want to live in
And
California.
then golly, Moses, Jesus. Wow. Just looking at some of the pictures there. That's awful. Yeah. And then the heat wave they've got, finally it broke.
Did it?
Yeah. Had a storm. So, which is probably what caused the mudslide. But then the air quality near that wildfire, which is 4 times the size it was just a couple of days
Mhm.
ago, the air quality has been degraded. It's just going down. You think we got bad air quality anywhere? Oh
Right.
no, they got awful stuff. I feel bad for the good people of California. Y'all have voted in some idiots. I understand. There's nothing that anybody could do about the weather. I will give you that. But, for all the other stuff, you should take a look at it. Maybe these are just some signs for what you've been doing wrong. Police don't know whether anybody's been hurt or killed in that mudslide. They don't know yet. They're still trying to get in there and do a survey. And who is this mayor? Let me check her out here. Laura Rodriguez. Let's see if this Mama Bear group founder, this sounds like your group, said that the mayor's expenses could be criminal. The mayor of New Orleans. She's facing scrutiny over her demand for luxury travel in the name of safety, all at the cost of taxpayers.
Oh, heck no.
Sky high flight costs and her refusal to pay back constituents for the steep price tag. You compare the fact that $30,000 is just the difference in cost from a coach seat versus a first class seat, and the starting salary of a New Orleans police department is $40,000. $30,000 difference is what she's been paying
Where
for
could
this year.
would the mayor be traveling to rack up
She's
that
supposed
much
to stay in her
charges?
own town, do you
Yeah,
not
I
think?
mean, and especially as many conventions and stuff that are held in New Orleans, how could you rack up this much travel? First off, I mean, where could she possibly be going? There's no way you could have that much travel in a year as a mayor. I just find it hard to believe.
Yep.
That involves traveling that involves a plane
Mhm.
as a mayor once again. Maybe there's like a national mayor's conference, but if there is, that's once a
Why
year.
do you fly first class?
Well, I fly first class, Raven. You can get some discounted tickets.
But you're flying. Who's paying for it?
Well, yeah,
The
I'm not. The
citizens?
taxpayers are not paying for it. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Why can't she pay her own thing?
There you go.
Yeah.
And this is New Orleans, and it's just like this group
But
said.
where could she be going for that much to run up that big of a bill?
Well, she flew to Washington. She flew to
what?
Miami.
Miami.
Okay, go ahead and hold on to the table
Oh no.
and try not to cuss.
Oh,
$17,000 for a flight to France in July.
Mm.
what? You are lying.
Good Lord.
17. Okay, but hold up, Rayford. Okay, stop. Let me time out right now. Right now. I fly to Ireland first class, and I can promise you our tickets. She went twice to France?
About $2,000.
Yes. $2,000. Well, the price has gone up, so let's say $3,000 a piece. So that'd be 6,000 total for me and Robin. But not the point. Why is a mayor flying to France? What is in
Switzerland.
France? She went to Switzerland too?
No, she's just went to Switzerland.
Why did she go to Switzerland as a mayor? Some governors don't even do that. What is happening right now? Oh, I'd be furious.
Phew.
And taxpayers are struggling with rising food costs, rising gas costs, rising utility costs. And she's wanting people to pay for her trip. I want to know what she went to Switzerland for.
She said that her sky-high travel costs, it's okay because my travel accommodations are a matter of safety, not of luxury. As all women know, our health and safety are often disregarded, and we are left to navigate all by our lonesome.
What?
Jeez.
You're live and local, Real Talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. Don't go away. We'll be right back. All right, let's move on down to the border again. Eagle Pass, Texas. The surge in migrant drownings in Eagle Pass has overwhelmed local mortuaries and funeral homes, requiring the border town's fire department to request refrigerators to store bodies.
Oh my word.
There are so many bodies being recovered that the morticians are asking for assistance, according to the fire chief. I have never seen so many drownings like we're seeing right now. We do a body recovery daily. It's traumatic for my personnel. Wow. The Del Rio sector of the southern border has seen 376,000 migrant encounters since October last year. That's 1,100 per day.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
That's crazy.
Across the entire border, Customs and Border Protection, almost 2 million encounters in the last 11 months.
Mm-mm.
13 migrants died. 53 others were apprehended while attempting to cross the Rio Grande into the United States 2 weeks ago. 13. Sometimes you'll be walking in an area where the water will never go above your knee, but all of a sudden you'll drop 10 to 12 feet. That's what the chief said was the Rio Grande was like. If you're carrying a baby, you're going to go down 10 to 12 feet
Take that
with
baby
that
with
baby.
you. Right.
Several children died recently while
Mhm.
crossing the river.
That was just on Saturday. Yeah, 9 migrants trying to cross died, drowned. Wow.
That's so sad.
It is.
Dozens were swept downstream while attempting to cross it.
And you know, they can say what the conditions that they're trying to escape. A lot of these people, we know they're being paid. We know they're being encouraged.
Sure, come on in to our country. We're going to give you room and board. We're going to give you money, and we're going to give you a voter registration
There's
card.
no incentive not to come in here.
Right.
We don't stop you.
Wow. And then you talk about the 51 migrants that died after being trapped in that tractor trailer.
Yeah, that's murder.
Yes,
Yeah, it is.
definitely. Definitely. It's just I don't know. The whole government has gone crazy.
Mhm.
We as a nation have gone crazy. We've gotten so far off track.
Our government is there. The federal government is there. One of the primary missions of our federal government is not to hand out money to everybody. Our federal government is there to protect and secure our borders.
That's right.
That's it.
All right.
That's the basic
To
issue.
protect us as citizens
That's
of
part
the
of it.
United States.
But you have to
right.
secure the borders to do that.
Yeah, definitely. We've got all these drugs coming in. I mean, look at our opioid crisis in the United States. You know, we continue to let it come in.
How do you, as a guy working with the fire department in Eagle Pass, Texas, deal with going out every day?
And scooping up bodies.
Once a day, you have to, on an average of one a day year
Mhm.
round.
That's just got to be
What about their mental health? What about their
Exactly.
stress? How about their PTS?
Mhm.
How about staffing issues? You know, these people are quitting.
right. It's just, yeah, exactly. There's got to be shortages there. I'm sure the ones that
They
are
are.
there are working overtime and
Yeah.
extra hours, and so we're paying them all that high overtime.
How about
and-
security? Because of if these firefighters are out there recovering bodies, firefighters, did you hear what I said? Firefighters are looking
Yes.
for bodies.
Yes,
What happens when there's a fire
That's
at
right.
my house and I
That's
live
right.
in Eagle Pass?
No, they're busy out there scooping bodies out of the water. Well, they said that whole river has been flowing 5 times faster than normal recently.
Mhm.
You know, with all the rains and everything that they've had. So I don't know. Maybe they need to put signs out there like North Topsail does.
Oh, yeah, that works.
We got to take a break.
You're live and local, Real Talk, Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME, and we'll be right back. Over in Beaufort at the Maritime Museum, there's a author of a new book going to be showing up there in a week or so. It's part of the Reading Frenzy tour there.
Mhm.
Award-winning marine biologist Dr. David Schiffman is going to discuss how and why we should protect shark populations. That's going to be September 20th at the Maritime Museum in Beaufort. Begins at 5:30. Program is free, open to the public. Schiffman's
Nice.
presentation will be followed by a question and answer session and a book signing. Copies of his new book, Why Sharks Matter, a deep dive with the world's most misunderstood predator, available for purchase in the Port of Call Museum store. I think I'm going to try to reach out to him in advance. I think that'd be a good guy to talk with about, how about feeding sharks? How about that thing about a lot of dive operations go out and like to feed sharks?
Oh, yeah.
What you think about that,
Yeah.
Doc?
Well, you want to get one of those cages and get dropped down?
I don't mind getting down there with them, but I'm not going to go down there to feed them.
Heck no.
Sharknado.
Course,
Right, Kelly?
I just watch
Sharknado.
it from above
They,
with
they
my
just
chainsaw in hand.
Did you see the time that they sent Shaq down in one of those cages?
Yes,
Oh my gosh,
I have
that
seen
was so
yeah.
funny.
I've seen all that stuff. Yes, yes, yes.
you know, we talked seriously about building one of those cages years ago, but didn't have a boat big enough.
There's
carry it
not
through the
enough
water.
metal that would make me want to go inside one of those things.
Well,
Uh-uh.
I'd prefer to be on the outside, but you certainly don't
Nah.
want to be feeding sharks on the outside. I wasn't intending to feed them from the inside either.
Oh, we've seen like Jaws. Wasn't Jaws where somebody went down the cage and Jaws was like tearing that cage up?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm
No.
done.
I've seen sharks. I haven't seen any quantity of sharks. I don't generally go in waters where there are a lot of sharks. North Carolina's got plenty of them, but for whatever reason, I've seen a few. But they're skittish.
Yeah.
Down in Jamaica, I saw a rather nice one, about a 9-foot nurse shark. But he was just asleep down in a little crevice, and I went down there with him and took some pictures and woke him up.
Well, I'm telling you, I used to love the ocean. I would stay out there for hours in the water. My
Mhm.
brother, my sister-in-law, we all had boards. We would just stay
Mhm.
out there for hours and not even come in. And ever since Jaws came out, it ruined it for
Yeah.
me.
Okay. Well,
They still like to go out there. My sister-in-law said one time one swam up next to her and she just punched it in the nose and it went away. And I said, "Oh, better you than me."
yeah.
Nope, not interested.
That Maritime Museum is pretty cool over there in Beaufort. If you guys
Yeah.
have ever been,
Mhm.
yeah, that's a nice place.
I've got to
Yeah.
go to Fort Fisher sometime this week.
I haven't been to the museum there. I've been to Fort Fisher. Yes, I did years
Mhm.
ago. I went there years ago.
I found out my
Um,
granddaughter is volunteering hours there, so I'm gonna sneak up and surprise
at
her.
the museum,
Yeah, at the
aquarium.
aquarium. I take it.
Yeah, 'cause
Probably.
aquariums at Fort Fisher. Then the
Right.
museum's over there at Southport.
Yes.
Mhm.
But both are great little places. I like. I love the aquarium.
Hmm.
Um,
I haven't been to that one in many, many
yeah,
years.
well, when they had it down for remodeling some years back, and when they reopened it, I had made arrangements because our morning meteorologist was also a diver.
Oh,
So we set up and did our entire morning show live from there, and he was underwater, had a microphone, so he could actually do his weather forecast from underwater with sharks and other
Right.
critters swimming around him.
well, I think the coolest one is the one right there in Myrtle Beach,
Mhm.
the aquarium there. Oh
Uh-huh.
man,
Yeah.
that is so cool.
Yeah, I was there when the Bob, whatever his name is, that had discovered the Titanic.
Yo, yes.
He was there giving a talk, and I went there.
But
met
that was
him.
standing
He-
room only, right?
Oh,
yeah,
that
that's
was I mean,
fascinating.
Yeah.
so that was really cool.
Making a lot of noise.
All right, we'll be back in here tomorrow. Hopefully, we will have a young lady in here. She had indicated that tomorrow would be a good day. Marissa Reeder. A big fishing tournament is starting this weekend.
Mhm.
That
Oh, great.
They're involved in.
No, it's
Good.
Marisa.
That's what I said, didn't I?
You said Marissa. Remember, it's
Well,
Marisa.
Marisa.
Miss
We'll change-
Reeder.
I'm going to change the spelling of her name. Marisa.
Maybe
Mareesa. What you think?
It's a
Yeah,
lovely
so that
name.
will be, yeah.
A lovely name.
All right,
And we got somebody else coming here too, I think.
Yes, we do.
tomorrow.
We have Ike Johnson.
Oh yeah, Ike's going to come in.
Democrat running
He's either-
against George Cleveland
Is
or
he?
running for the NC House 15.
So
15, 14, 16, 15.
one of those, one that's currently held by George
Yes,
Cleveland.
that's right.
And I can't ever get them straight.
Yeah.
I live in that district.
I'm going to be so anxious to hear what Ike's got to say.
curious
It's
to hear
gonna
his
nice to have
platform.
him in
I got
here,
I
right?
got a couple of questions to ask him.
Yeah.
Little
Because we
cupcakes.
don't generally have many Democrats come
No.
in here. So
Well, there are not many
I-
Democrats.
yeah, well, I applaud him coming
So
in
do
here.
I.
Can't wait to hear
Looking
what he's
forward
got
to
to
it.
say.
Yeah.
And we will see you tomorrow beginning at about 7 o'clock. So hang in there. Have a great 22 hours off from us. And then we will see you in the morning. You're live and local Real Talk. Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME.